Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Mannschrecks, and Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, I'm JJ.
I'm Sarah.
And we're here. And I touched the microphone. You're not supposed to do
I
that.
hear that.
All right, are you ready to approach the news desk?
I am.
Let's dive in for our real stories.
Okay. Yeah.
Here, I'll go first then. Family purchases $10,000 in gift cards for a Disney vacation, only to realize it's for Disney Plus. They bought $10,000 worth of gift cards at Sam's Club, and the gift cards were discounted on like 80%. So they thought they were saving an enormous amount of money, but they bought like 75 years worth of Disney Plus instead.
I mean, I know Sam's Club does those. Like, I was at Costco. Costco does it too. Yep. I was at Costco, and it was like, buy this $100 pack of Starbucks gift cards for $75. Right. So it's essentially like there's four $25 gift cards, but you get one free.
Right.
I would be
so they saw that,
mortified.
And the family was like, so here's the deal. A family's long-awaited Disney trip seemed momentarily in jeopardy when the grandparents in charge realized a major error. So before I get too into it, like Disney did clear it up with them, and they helped them out.
I would be so...
So a lady, Andy Costin, was doing real-time updates on her TikTok of her family Disney's vacation. It was originally scheduled for 2020 and got canceled because of the pandemic. The family finally put it back together this year and said, all right, we're going to go. We finally planned it for this Christmas. All 16 of my family members. To save some money, my parents went and bought $10,000 of Disney gift cards to purchase our tickets and restaurant reservations.
Whoa.
I went home this weekend and they were having problems loading the gift cards correctly and purchasing the tickets. Then she was shown the physical gift cards and realized that every one of them was for Disney Plus, Disney's streaming service.
Oops.
It was, oh my gosh. So they issued a call of help to get the money in the right form. We leave in 6 days and the parks are selling out tickets because it's Christmas. My mom is distraught. Dad's frustrated and the kids are worried we won't get into Disney.
I feel bad for them, but at the same time, like, you need to carefully read what you're doing. I mean,
oh man,
I understand the idea behind it to buy gift cards and save yourself some money, but like, ooh.
Oh my gosh. So things developed quickly on TikTok and in her follow-up videos. She was getting questions and it went viral overnight. She clarified the mix-up happened in part because her parents don't use streaming services. They were unaware that there was a difference. It was an honest mistake, she said. So her parents were like, didn't even know about Disney Plus. Furthermore, since the couple was trying to input the gift cards on Disney's gift card website, the numbers were already scratched off the back, which made them ineligible for return.
Oh my gosh.
$10,000. Now, people chimed in with different ideas. They also learned that this is not the only family that this has happened to. Less than 24 hours after her first TikTok about the situation was posted, they found a resolution. Disney reached out to the family. They returned $10,000 of streaming gift cards and turned it into $10,000 Disney Parks gift cards. So I don't think they got the discount that they were shooting for, purchasing the $10,000, but they were
able to at least rectify it to get their Disney vacation
full time.
And the moral of the story is,
read carefully.
Don't go to Disney World because it's just freaking expensive. Because oh my gosh, $10,000! You could have done so much more with $10,000.
I don't know.
This coming from someone who went to Disney World like 14 times
Disney,
as a kid. But you know what? It may be better to just save your money.
Oh, that's an expensive trip. 16. And it sounds like, so the lady in the video is maybe our age or just a little older.
It makes me sad that she was posting stuff to her TikTok. And we just,
yeah. Well, I mean, it worked.
It worked for her family.
Yep, they got their resolution.
I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that you would be like, let's purchase these gift cards at Target. Or not Target, you said Sam's Club.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh my gosh, they're the wrong type of Disney card.
And maybe it's just because like we don't have money for big vacations, but the idea of dropping $10,000 on gift cards that's kind of mind-boggling. And I know that it's a big family trip, everybody's going. It's not like just your family, but that's a lot.
That's a huge amount of money. And I realize it's like a Christmas gift kind of thing because you're going at Christmas time.
And they save for years,
which
right?
is literally the busiest time of year to go. We have gone to Disney World right after Christmas time on New Year's, and it was insane. But to go at Christmas time is an expensive venture.
Yeah, I bet. I hope they had an amazing time.
I hope they
did
did
such
too.
a stressful thing. And poor kids are like, we're not going to go to Disney. I mean, can you imagine?
No, but you're going to get 30 years of Disney Plus. Merry Christmas, son. We subscribe to the Disney Channel.
It's a gift from the cable company.
Fine. It's all you're going to be drinking for the next 30 years.
For those who have no idea what just happened, that was
I was quoting the Santa Claus.
That was a stream of quotes from this.
Word vomit from the Santa Claus. Sorry.
I like it.
Anyways, my story is less shocking. But the title's fun. I showed this video to the boys the other day. They thought it was hilarious. Nice. But it is an Australian man puts on 10 pairs of underpants in 13 seconds. There's no point to it. Like I said, it's just a stupid. So he it took 6 months of training to break an unusual world record, the fastest time to put on 10 pairs of underpants.
Why?
The man lines up as many underpants as he can in a row and just walks one to the other, pulls it up, next one, pulls it up. But he has so many lined up in hopes that he can get in more. Yep. But apparently he still broke a world record by putting on 10 pairs in 13 seconds. So this man from Brisbane always wanted to break a Guinness World Record, and he eventually settled on attempting the underpants title.
Oh my gosh.
It took him 6 months of practice to develop and refine his technique. He broke the record with a time of 13.03 seconds.
But I feel like this is one of those things where it's like the Guinness Book of World Records should come out and give the guy like a slap and a scolding and like go back to your real life.
What does his trophy look like? Do you think it's like a pair of golden underwear or something like that?
I hope so.
And then he can brag about it all the time.
Like, what are you doing with your life? That's not a world record. That's just a waste of your time.
Like this, I showed this to the boys and they were like, what is he doing? What is he doing?
I put on a lot of underwear really quickly. What?
It was so ridiculous because I was like, yeah, what is he doing? He's just putting on pairs of underwear. He's on like a tennis court, and he just has them lined up. And
oh my gosh, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It's so bizarre. The boys were like, "What is happening?" And I was like, "He's putting on underwear." And then he's just like, "Look at me, I did it!" Like,
what? Nope, that's weird.
not a world record.
that's just I've seen some weird. We have talked about a lot of world records. That's one of the
that's a low bar.
Yeah, that's one of the sources of weird stories.
13 seconds too. Like, there's like really impressive ones, like solves a Rubik's cube, which there's a like hack the system type. There's ways to know how to solve a Rubik's cube.
Yes.
It's like 6 turns left, 6 turns right, 3 turns up, or something like that. Yep. Like, I saw like the cheat sheet for it. But like, to be able to do however many seconds the world record breaker is more impressive to me than putting on underwear.
No, there's
now granted, my 3-year-old can't even do it in 5 minutes, but 13 seconds for 10 pairs of underwear.
Were you showing it to him for inspiration?
Here you go. Now
right,
focus.
He can do.
We're gonna do this tomorrow.
13. You can do 1. You can get the 1 pair of underwear.
3 seconds. I'm expecting nothing less. Oh my gosh.
That's a ridiculous world record, and I would be mad at Guinness for validating this man's time spent.
I just couldn't wrap my mind around that, thinking this is worthy of a world record.
No, it's not. Well, and it's not even a talent or a thing. You know, it's like, here's a thing that no one else has done quickly because no one else has done it. It's just weird.
Well, apparently someone has, because he broke the record. So someone else attempted it in the past.
How many pairs of underwear can you put on in 10 seconds? What? Uber stolen by California woman on a way to her Austin airport. So this lady is a little bit crazy. And
a little bit.
Oh, it's amazing. So a California woman was arrested after police said she stole her Austin Uber driver's car because she claimed the driver was driving too slow. So according to the arrest affidavit on December 10th, around 12:30 in the morning, an Uber driver picked up 27, and I don't know how to say her name, Niusha Afkami, from a hotel to take her to the airport in Austin. And on the way, the Uber driver said that she seemed upset about how long it was taking to get to the airport. So while driving, the Uber driver had her phone in her hand. So it's a female driver picking up a female passenger.
Okay.
And she had her phone in her hand. This young woman, Afkami, she took the phone, the Uber driver's phone, out of her hand, threw it out the window.
Oh my gosh.
Then the driver stopped, got out of the car to go get her phone. Then this lady jumps into the driver's seat and takes off and drove the Uber, leaving the Uber driver with her phone on the side of the road.
Oh my gosh.
Stranded on the ramp to the E. Cesar Chavez going to Airport Boulevard. Officers working at the airport got the information, found the Uber driver's car abandoned in front of a terminal. So she drove up to the terminal and then just ditched the car there.
I'm sorry. How entitled and privileged are you that you feel that your driver driving too slow, not safely? It's 12:30 in the morning, mind you.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
She's running late. Before she could board the plane, she was found by police, so she got caught. They're like, nah, you're not getting on the plane. She was questioned. She said that the Uber driver and her were arguing over how long the drive was going to take. She told the Uber driver, I need to get to the airport, so I'm going to take your car and drop it off at Southwest Airlines. So it's like she told her, all right, go pick it up here. I'm leaving. You know, like, just amazing.
Do you not understand how an Uber works? It's not like, oh, I'll just take the taxi driver's car.
Well, and then she also stole the Uber driver's wallet and used a credit card for several items at the store inside the airport.
Okay, so
it's like, no, this is a person who's abandoned
unhinged
sort of the normal lifestyle, you know.
Morals and ethics, maybe?
Yeah. According to the affidavit, she spent about $120 on items that were found in her possession, including a shot glass and candy.
Oh, yes.
She was charged with an unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. It prompted a warning from the attorney, from an attorney about the dangers of ride shares. I don't know, though. I've done Uber a lot. In fact, in Austin, I had a great time. I got to ride in a Tesla. Like, that was really cool.
I just can't wrap my mind around the fact that you would feel it's acceptable to get frustrated with the driver. It's so much so that you become aggressive and take their phone and chuck it out the window. Now, I would feel disappointed if my driver was using their phone while driving. That would be unfortunate.
Yes. Most of them have some kind of a mount.
Right, like a mount system. That's fine. But if you're physically on your phone, I might be like, hey, it just makes me a little nervous.
That.
Like,
yeah.
But even then, I would feel uncomfortable saying it because you're the driver. I'm just the passenger. Whew. That's messed up.
Yeah. So then it goes on and gives a bunch of warnings about it. But the Uber's 2019-2020 safety report states that 99% of all Uber rides are completed without incident. The 1% is the person who steals the phone, throws it out the window, and then steals your car and wallet.
You think that woman's like, I'm never driving for Uber again?
Like it feels like the end of like a romantic comedy or something. Like a I'm just desperate to I have to get to the airport now. But then once she gets there, she has time to like steal credit card and go to the store and buy shot glasses. And it's like,
I guess I'm confused why how she got the woman's wallet.
Must have been in the car still. She probably just left it in the console or whatever. I mean, if you think about it, most women don't carry their wallet on their person. It's like in their purse or something.
That's true.
So
I forget
if the phone is out the window, that lady was out there with just her phone, right?
I mean, I'd be mad, but honestly, at that point, I'd probably just let my phone go and keep driving. My phone's not that important to me.
No, but if it's your source of directions and everything, yeah, you need it.
I don't know. I'd assume if you're an Uber driver, though, you probably know how to get to the places. I think
what I would do is I would like pull the car over, take the keys
lock
out,
the car,
and make the person get out. It'd be like, get out of my car.
Yeah.
You don't get to be in my car anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't pull over to the side of the road, leave the car running to go look for my phone.
Yeah.
Although I would already suspect this person is unhinged if they did this in the first place, so I would have zero trust in this person. Yeah. Actually, what I would have done is I would have said, okay, you may get out of my car. This deal is terminated. You no longer get to ride in my car. Take your bags and go. Like, this is unacceptable.
I don't know if I could have the patience to be an Uber driver or a taxi driver or any of that.
I can't. I don't know how I would do. I used to drive a shuttle back and forth to the airport.
That's true.
To pick up people at the hotel. And I actually kind of liked it because it was kind of mindless. Like, some people like to make small talk, which is kind of fun. I'm not a super outgoing person. But it was kind of nice because, like, there's something about making small talk while driving where it's, like, less.
Yep, it's easier.
It's a little easier because you're just driving and you're talking. I enjoyed that. It was actually quite fun. Not so fun when you had to load heavy luggage into the back.
Yeah. What?
But, it was not that bad. And if I had a full vehicle, a lot of times people would just talk to each other. Or it was just silent. For sure. But if it was me one-on-one with someone and it was a situation like that, I don't know how I would react. I would probably get frustrated. But I'd probably just, like, stop talking and drive. Like, I would just tune them out. Like, you want to get mad, that's fine, but you've agreed to ride in this vehicle, so you're going to deal with the way the driver's operating.
Oh my gosh. I need to get to the airport. I'm going to ditch the car. But then I also stole your wallet.
Yeah, and bought a shot glass.
Yep.
Well, we already knew you were
candy.
a little unhinged.
And candy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought that story, it just like...
That is ridiculous.
Blew my mind. I was like, what is this story of this woman who... Anyways.
So mine is my next. My stories this week were nothing.
That's fine.
Painful.
I love it. That's what we do.
So this one is mostly just like a
We're not
probably a
here to
Reddit
bring
dump.
the latest and greatest.
But it's 5 crazy wedding stories from 2023 that stand out from the rest.
Oh,
to pose the statement, life is just too short.
I'm excited.
So the first one is ridiculous. Like, posted on Am I the A-hole?
Yes,
You know.
AITA.
So this wedding, bride throws a fit when a 6-year-old nephew wears white to her wedding.
Oh, come on.
So apparently the couple reveals, or the writer revealed, he shared the story to, mention is my new wife a jerk? And then he later revealed after the post that they are not even together anymore.
Oh, wow.
After the blow up. So it says the man told his wife.
This is the groom.
So it's the wedding day. The bride was overreacting to the fact that her 6-year-old nephew was wearing a white bow tie and white jeans to their wedding.
Oh, not even an all white, but
not an adult,
yeah,
not a dress, but a child.
It's fairly common to know, like, the kiddos can't make mistakes at weddings. Well, they're super cute, and they're gonna be
apparently
a mess.
They were so thorough. They even put no white clothing as a dress code on the invitation, which is petty.
Wow,
Let's just keep this in perspective, folks.
Yeah, my gosh.
It's very clear this person has like
Boy, that's
an issue with not being the center of attention.
Yep.
Of attention. So apparently, she was not doing well. It said the reception was going okay until I walked over to my wife and saw her at the bathroom with her face in her hands. Groom went to check on her and found her sitting on the floor, mascara all over her face. And when I asked what was wrong, she told me that her nephew was wearing white jeans and a bow tie. She asked the kid to change his clothes or leave the reception.
Oh my gosh.
He tried to console her, but she wouldn't back down. Oh my gosh. So it says she should have let the situation go, but she couldn't let go of the fact that the child was inappropriately dressed and creating chaos at her wedding.
She's creating chaos.
I just could not, let it go. At this point, it's your wedding day. Like, just enjoy it.
Yeah, you're all done with
Laugh
the caring
it off,
about that kind of stuff.
Go on with your life. It is a child.
Man, yeah.
But
I just think when it comes to kids, if you try to force them into a mold, it goes poorly.
You have to be...
Yeah, let the kids go a little crazy. It's everyone's favorite part, right? Like, so I'm a pastor. I've done a lot of weddings, and I've done weddings with a lot of kids and flower girls and ring bearers.
6-year-old.
And when you bring them in, let them be cute, right? Like, so we've done like 3 and 4-year-olds who, like, they're not even gonna make it down the aisle, right? They're gonna wander. They're gonna like go visit people, and it's like,
it off.
Let them do it.
Control another human being.
No, because if you try, it ruins it, right? And if you just kind of let them be cute, and oh look, it took them 5 minutes to get down the aisle. That's really fun, and people love that.
The part that I have a hard time with is the pettiness and even more childishness of this bride who is not recognizing the fact that this is a child, 6 years old.
Yep.
The parents were the ones who brought the child.
Yeah,
why are you picking
wrong.
your battle with a 6-year-old? It's your nephew.
Yep.
And I'm assuming probably not someone that whose family you're really going to associate with much anymore after this incident, because you're choosing to be so stubborn about something that is not even worth battling about.
Nope. Wow. Poor bride. Not poor bride.
Poor family that has to deal with her. So that was the first crazy story.
All right, there you go.
The second one is probably just as petty. The groom smashes cake into a bride's face after she asks him not to do it.
Ooh,
a
not
newlywed
cool.
bride asked for support on Reddit when she left her wedding once her husband smashed the wedding cake in her face, despite several requests that he not do that at the reception. I always knew that he found cake smashing videos to be funny, but she told him this is not a tradition I am fond of.
Wow.
I told him if he ever did something like that, I'd leave him. He started laughing, but I was for real. He scooped a chunk of cake and shoved it right in her face.
Wow.
She immediately left the reception and went on to pour her heart out to Reddit. Okay.
That's not a good thing.
This makes me sad, though.
Yeah. But, wow.
Apparently, most people agreed with her. I think stunts like that are annulment worthy. Really?
I don't know about annulment worthy. It's definitely, it was wrong, right? And he needs to apologize.
It is disrespectful. And I think but it's also one of those things that in the time, like, if someone's going to do something like that, they're going to do something like that. And you're not going to, like, make them pay by walking out on them. Like, it doesn't say whether or not they're
still
actually
together.
even married, but I think that's
these marriage
petty.
breakers.
Like,
yeah.
know your crowd. Like, seriously, like, respect the other person if they ask you to not to do something. No, don't do it.
Well, and by moving forward, even after you've been requested not to, it's a selfish thing. It's like you're not thinking, you're thinking more about what you want than what they want. And that's kind of the opposite of what marriage is all about. So
yeah, your marriage is not going to go well if that's the way that you're choosing to do things. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right, the third story is couple chooses an unusual wedding venue, one fit for a, quote, princess. So this couple, 41 years old and 58 years old, they're older.
Yeah.
They were married in Arizona in May of this year. They got married at a White Castle.
Oh, nice.
So apparently the woman... So they fed their 150 guests some of the chain's staples, including sliders and onion rings. Nice. They chose this venue because the bride was shown incredible kindness by White Castle as a teenager. She was in and out of the foster care system between the ages of 4 and 13, and eventually, like that. But eventually decided she was in 94 foster homes, 6 shelters, and 8 group homes between the ages of 4 and 13.
Holy
Had a horrible childhood, and eventually decided, I'm just going to leave the system. So she ran away.
Wow.
And she was homeless at the age of 13 and decided I could do better on my own because of the awful situations I was in with foster homes, shelters, and group homes.
Yeah.
So at one point at the age of like 14, she wandered into a White Castle and was given 3 or 4 bags of burgers that were
the
extra.
Workers saw her and said
one of the workers saw her and said, oh honey, go in the bathroom and clean yourself up. And when she came out, she was given bags of White Castle burgers to take. They said they clean up the grill every hour and they had a ton of extra burgers. They were going to throw them away, so they gave them to her. So she said, I was able to feed a lot of other kids for a few days after that. So she was homeless, living with other homeless kids.
Oh my gosh.
Fed them burgers, ate the burgers, and said, it's always had a special place in my heart. Whenever I go past a White Castle, I would go in there.
I love this. Now I'm like, I would be honored.
So they got married at a White Castle.
Yeah, but that's amazing. That's the best. I'm so on board with this. At first, I was like rolling my eyes because you don't get married.
It's like the people that are like, I got married at Walmart because we met at Walmart. And you're like,
but
yeah.
But wow. Okay, that was a weird thing that we just did. But I love it though. I mean, oh my gosh. Shout out to that White Castle worker, whoever he or she was way back then. I'm totally in support of this White Castle wedding now. I think I actually saw that news story about the White Castle wedding.
Quirky.
And I thought it was weird, so I didn't even bother clicking on it.
I read it and I was like, wow, these people are old. But yeah, it's kind of, it makes me sad.
Yeah, of
at
course.
The way the system failed this one person.
94, that's too many homes.
Yeah.
I think 3 or 4 would be traumatic.
The most the youngest years from the ages of 4 to 13.
Yeah. White Castle being there for. I love that. Oh, that was a good one. I really like that one.
The next one is stupid. It says the bride demotes a bridesmaid to, quote, assistant flower girl, but still wants her to pay for the gown. So in July, a Reddit user shared that she'd been demoted.
It's not a hierarchy of business. I mean, come on.
She'd been demoted to assistant flower girl for her brother's wedding after the bride decided she was going to have another woman in the bridal party. So imagine if we had got married and I decided, I don't want to have your sister in the wedding. Yep. I'm going to have another friend. So you can be the assistant flower girl.
That's petty and mean and no, not cool.
All right, so the last story is a dog chews up the groom's passport just days before their destination wedding. So there's a couple from South Boston that were planning to have a wedding in Italy on August 31st.
Oh.
But their golden retriever... What is it with golden retrievers? Everybody I know who has a golden retriever is like, oh my gosh, they eat everything.
Really? I've not heard
everything.
That. Interesting.
Yeah, everybody I know who's had a golden retriever is
they chew on stuff.
They eat things they're not supposed to. But apparently this golden retriever named Chicky decided to eat his passport.
Wow.
So they were set to leave. It was just days before they were set to leave the country, and the dog ate the passport.
Oh, what do you even do? Was there any way that they could get through?
It says oh my gosh, they they had just filed for their marriage license earlier in the day. They were having a celebratory dinner, and he started looking for his passport and could not find it.
Oh.
Found the dog had chewed it up and started eating it. But after he shared the information, it went viral and he was able to receive an expedited passport.
Man.
So they were still able to have their wedding as scheduled.
There is something about going viral that can save your butt.
So they let the dog off the hook, and he says, I can't be mad at Chicky. I'm the one who left the passport out where she could get it.
Yeah, but also the dog didn't have to chew it.
I was
can't
like,
be mad at my dog for doing a bad thing.
Sure, if you say so.
Oh my gosh.
So,
it's nice that they got an expedited passport though, because that's wow.
hard to do, because that not only do you have to get the passport, but then you have to get the pictures and everything, and it's like,
I would wonder. I feel like if depending on how badly it was chewed, I feel like I would take it to the thing and be like, "Here's my passport," and they'd be like, "What is this?" And it's like, "Well, my dog chewed on it," but because I think
classic dog ate your passport situation.
Well, for me, it would be all about whether because I think the passports have like a microchip in them now, right? Isn't there a little thing in? Like, and I feel like as long as that part's not chewed on, it'd be like, who cares about the picture or the page? Like you just need this little scan part. But
I have no idea. I would have been.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I've been real mad at the dog.
Italy and wedding and all this.
You're planning an expensive trip like that.
Yeah, that's not a cheap wedding. I'm guessing.
The dog
oh man.
Ate the passport.
Ate my passport. Dog ate my passport.
That's a story for the grandkids.
I love it. That's fun. My two favorites were the White Castle one and the dog one.
Yeah.
I like those stories. That's good. The other ones belong on AITA.
Just painfully stupid.
Smushing food into a bride's face. That's just yeah. But the White Castle story was very pulling my heartstrings more than I expected.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for Sponsor Your Life?
Yeah. I guess just Christmas celebrations with family.
Yeah. Sponsoring life.
Yeah. I liked our Christmas Day, actually. It was really nice, relaxed Christmas Day. We just kind of hung out at home and
I like that tradition.
Just the 6 of us, and it was nice. We had cinnamon rolls and
the usual. Yep.
A chill morning. Kids did not nap. We went for a walk.
Yeah, it was like
55 degrees, so it was nice. It wasn't sunny. But it was comfortable walking temperature.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it was such a beautiful day. It was wonderful, and it was so nice. And when we were out for our walk, there were lots of other families
going for walks. Yeah.
And the one family, they were like, we're letting the kids test out their new stuff. So, because it was kids on the one little girl was on a scooter and a little boy on a balance bike, and we walked, and it was just this weird solidarity of we're all human doing the family thing on this day, and it was super fun. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I could pick 100 things. But I'm gonna give the shout out to eggnog. I don't think we have yet, and we need to.
Shout out to eggnog.
The whole season, we love it in our house. All our boys love eggnog, and then we use it like coffee creamer for the season of when it's available.
It's a seasonal thing.
Yeah. It's only available a couple months. Not even 5 weeks. I mean, really, it's the last week of Thanksgiving. They start showing up, and then it's there through now, and then it's gone.
Yeah. I got that jug at my grocery shopping this past week, and I think that will be the last one.
Probably. They're gone. They don't stick around, and I love it. So, anyways, eggnog is definitely sponsoring my life. Delicious. So good.
Nice.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Cool. I'm ready because I don't know what we're doing.
Okay. So it's 20 questions for... We're going to say New Year's Eve, but we'll be posting these. These are, I'm going to ask you these.
Countdown.
Yeah, so kind of
year
like a
recap.
New Year reflection.
Love it.
So, and I might just pick and choose. Some of these might, maybe some are not interesting. But so, number one, what was the single best thing that happened this past year in 2023? What would you say?
The single best thing. I mean, a lot of really good stuff has happened.
If you had to just choose one.
Probably the announcement of Kiddo. That's my,
Okay, yeah.
But we haven't had Kiddo yet, so that feels weird,
It'll be an exciting thing.
Little girl is coming, and that's really cool.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's what I'm probably going to go with.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun, went to some camps. We were going to do some profession of faith at the church, and that's a big deal. I love that. So I that or... watching the boys read more and more has been a
Yeah.
really big joy for me. Like I love that, and we've been having a lot of fun.
We
with
have.
it.
It's been very good.
How about you? What's your
single best thing?
Yeah.
Adding another person to our family, even though they haven't arrived yet, is an exciting thing. It's been good. It's been I'm not going to lie, it's been a really tough year. So that was kind of like a nice thing to have. It feels like a very transitional year. So this year has been challenging for many reasons. So.
I did have like my trip to Texas and my trip to Nashville. Those were both really great events. So that was a lot of fun too. Yeah, but you're right. It was, the end of last year was really where all the roughness was.
I don't know. For me, I think the first 3 months of this year were the hardest.
It's true. Yes.
Like last year was coming to terms with the fact that we were going to be leaving. But so that leads into the second question. What was the single most challenging thing that happened? And I think like leaving Flushing.
Worst thing ever.
It was awful. Leaving Flushing. Yep. Saying goodbye to all of our friends and everything. Not that this hasn't been like a really welcoming community, because it has
amazing.
It was just that was a big challenge that I wasn't expecting for me to be so difficult.
Well, and the unexpected nature of it. We didn't leave the way we had thought we would leave.
No.
And that was just hard. Any kind of church transition can be challenging. Even if it's the best and everyone's okay with it,
but it wasn't the way we wanted it to go.
Though. It was. We did not. It was. Yeah. That was really rough.
Yeah. So, what was an unexpected joy this past year?
Unexpected joy. I've had the unexpected joy of home ownership, and I know most people say that sarcastically, but I really have. It has been so much fun to own our own home. To like when there's a problem in the house, I get to fix it. And I've learned. I hung a door and I fixed the steps, and you know what I mean?
Like garbage disposal.
Yeah, we installed the garbage disposal. Like we've done so much, and to me, I have fun with that. It's maybe not fun in the moment, and it's like stressful.
The realization that you have to fix something.
Yeah, and it can be expensive, but it's been
the satisfaction of doing it.
Yeah, I feel really great when I accomplish a project, and so I've had a lot of fun this year doing that kind of stuff. I'm sure it'll wear out and I won't be super interested in it in future years. But for possible. This year, that's been an unexpected joy in my life for
Very
sure.
Cool.
How about you?
I don't know that homeownership was an unexpected joy. Still stresses me out. But I think an unexpected joy, just like seeing the kids like adapt to a new place. Like they've had a lot of difficulty, and it's been hard because they still remember when we lived in, I miss this or whatever. But like to see them, like they've done very well. I think they've transitioned pretty well. So it's kind of an unexpected joy because, they're both getting, they're all getting older, but Liam and Amos especially, like they've still been doing well. And in school, with homeschooling, it's been fun, but just in a lot of areas of life, it's been kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pick 3 words to describe this past year.
3 words to describe 2023. I'm going to go scary, exciting, and hopeful.
I was going to say hopeful, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say challenging.
Yeah.
Hopeful, and growth, I guess.
It's so funny because like our family went through a big thing this past year, right? We left a church that we weren't expecting. We found a new church family, which has been incredible. And that's been really, really good. But then we're in transition and baby coming. And it's like, I a little bit wonder, what is the rest of the world even doing? Like how did everybody else feel about 2023?
It is interesting because some years are really good and you're like looking outward a lot more and you're observing a lot. And then other years it's kind of you've got your nose down in the business. I feel like
we're just kind of in our own world.
Yeah, we've been more inwardly focused, like going through this tough season. So it is interesting to kind of see what was the takeaway for everyone else from 2023.
Yeah,
their 2023 was different from my 2023.
Exactly, and so it's like I wonder, did other people like this year, or was it a terrible year for everyone?
How did we feel about 2023?
How does everyone feel about 2023? I know that like the inflation in the economy was really rough. I know grocery bills were hitting people. We felt it. A lot of people around us felt it. But at the same time, the horrible recession never materialized. Like they warned us about it because we did a lot of stuff with the pandemic and post-pandemic and all that. And it was like it was like bad, but not as bad as it could have been. Yeah. I guess is what I'm feeling.
It could always be worse.
That's my bad, but not as bad. That's my analysis.
Okay. So my next question is, what were the best books you read this year?
Ooh.
JJ's Reading Corner.
I have read so many books.
So start with your nonfiction recommendations.
All right. So I'm in the middle of a book right now that has made me think, well, okay, Habits of the Household is probably going to win.
Yeah, mine too.
Amazing. It was really, really great.
Yep.
I've read a lot of really good nonfiction books. I really enjoyed, I got into memoirs a little bit. I read Beth Moore's memoir. I read Phil Vischer's memoir. I read, so those have been really good. Just sort of heartfelt and powerful and really good. I'm reading a book right now that's very outside my wheelhouse. It's called Suicide at the West by Jonah Goldberg. And it's a very like political, and it's very heady. It's very intellectual about the structures of our society and whether, what type of government and what type of economic systems are the best ones. And I've been really enjoying it. It's made me think a lot about how we establish society for the best flourishing of humans, and things that have gone well and bad, and it's very good, and it's very comprehensive. He gives a ton of history and then analysis of the present age and what we're giving up and losing and what we should hang on to, and so I'm really, really enjoying that, although I'm not done with it yet. But it's actually gotten more interesting as it goes. Like it's really, really good. It reminds me of The Coddling of the American Mind, which was one I read last year, and it also just really pulled on my mind. I read a lot of like religious nonfiction, but when I dabble outside of religious nonfiction, they're really interesting books, and I get really into them. So that's my nonfiction.
So how about your fiction recommendation? For
fiction, I read the entire Wheel of Time series this year.
Took you a couple years to read that.
A year and a half. Yep. I started last, like September. So yeah, a year and 4 months or something. But it was really good. Not everything I agreed with, but it was an engaging series. It was the longest fiction series I've ever read. Something like 4 million words, and I mean each book is 600 to 800 pages, and there's 14 books, and I read them all, and so it was just. That was crazy. So I felt very accomplished. But book number 11 was really good. There's a part where, so the original author who started writing them in the 90s, he died. He didn't finish the series. But then they hired a guy to come in and finish the series. Let's close these books out. Because the author had left a lot of notes about what he wanted to do with the series. And when that new guy came in, the books got really satisfying because they started closing loops. Yeah. And they, I think the author he created this big fantasy world. So very kind of like Lord of the Rings. But I think he got lost in his own world. Yeah. He was just wandering. And I think books 7, 8, 9, it was like, where are we going? What are you doing? We're just adding new things. And it's like, I think if he had not been diagnosed with his illness, he would have just kept writing. He would have written like 30 books, you know? Because he built a really fun world, and there's a lot of things to explore. But then this new guy comes in and finishes it. So he did a great job. Okay. The books got really satisfying. So I'd say number 11, which is weird, but it's like when that...
Had to wait till book 11 to get to
he comes in and suddenly they take on a new purpose. It's like, okay, we have to start closing the loops and finishing the story, and that was really, and he did a great job. As I was reading, I was like, but what even happened with this? And I assumed that they would forget about it, and then he brings it back in. And
it's like, oh, there it is.
There you go. It's just super satisfying to have all the weaves tie together. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was a good one for me.
Very cool. I would say for myself, the best nonfiction book I read was Habits of the Household by far. It was just a really good book. Can't recommend that book enough. And then I don't know, I read a lot of fiction that I've read before, so just revisiting classics. Like you got me a bunch of those.
I did. Yep.
Classics books. I reread Jane Eyre. Read a bunch of Jane Austen books. Just classics that I've read before, but so kind of just cycling back through. Yeah. It's hard for me to find fiction that I like.
Yep.
I don't like modern fiction. No. I don't. I don't jive with a lot of stuff that's in modern fiction. So it's hard for me to find something that I like, that is enjoyable, and that is, I find engaging or worthy of my time.
There
So,
you go. Yeah.
so I kind of reread the classics, and that was good for me. So, all right. What was your biggest personal change from January to December of 2023?
I guess at work, I went from being a lead pastor to a campus pastor. And so I'm doing less of the administration and more of the ministry stuff. And that has been an unexpected joy. I thought, in my brain, I had it like as lead pastor is the promotion and campus pastor is a demotion or whatever. Yeah. But it has not been my experience at all. It's been amazing to be the right-hand man and to leave administrative tasks to other people and to just do the ministry, go. And that it's been so joyful. And I was unexpected. It's been a big change, right? My role, having to ask permission, right? Because as a lead pastor, you're kind of the guy. You're you just go.
Yep.
But then now it's I got to go check and see what our policy is on that, or see what we think about that for the budget or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's been really weirdly freeing and fun. I have to check on things, but I'm also not having to make those decisions.
Yeah, so, that is kind of a nice twist.
I loved being a lead pastor, and I would do it again, but I also have had a lot of fun in my new role. So that's been a big change. Nice. How about you? What's your biggest change?
Personal change?
Yeah. You're pregnant.
I know. Well, that's a physical change.
That's a little different.
That's a physical change. But personal change, I don't know. It's like I said, it's been a year of definite growth and realizing figuring out priorities and kind of shifting mindset on things, trying to be a person of growth, because I don't handle change very well. Believe it or not. What? I don't handle change well. And so this was a lot of change.
It has
So it's been a very transitional year. But I guess just learning how to try to roll with things even when it's uncomfortable, but also try to maintain perspective when things change. Because it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day stuff and just get frustrated with everything, but then trying to look ahead,
keep
I guess.
Moving,
keep going. And also try to, keep the kids
that's there
sane as well. So that was kind of
a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's do one more. A lot of these are pretty in-depth and could end up turning into a huge discussion. So create a phrase or statement that describes this past year for you.
I want to say that this was really a healing year.
Okay.
I don't know if that's more one word, but it's been, that it was really rough to leave our church, and I don't want to keep harping on that, but that was a big thing for us. And so to come to Aldersgate, where we're at now, we found ourselves healing really quickly, as far as it was just really awful to leave friends and to just kind of grapple with that and cope with that. And so through just finding new community and keeping contact with our old community and keeping friendships going and just sort of figuring out, okay, what is life outside the United Methodist system?
Yeah, that's been interesting.
And that it's been, we're stepping out on a limb in a big way, buying our first home and, working in a job with a different denomination and all this stuff. And it's so that I guess it's been very healing and reorienting.
It's actually kind of been almost a freeing thing. Cause before we were kind of this mindset, and especially you, it was well, it's hard to work outside of a system that you're familiar with because there's so many unknowns. Yeah. But then once we stepped outside of that system, it's actually this is kind of freeing because we have the ability, we already have the tools and the knowledge, so we can kind of step back and we have a better perspective almost.
Well, and this is the first time in, I would say, 10 years that we've really looked at life and asked questions about what are our long-term priorities.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We've always just kind of done the thing.
You just go and you just, this is my new job and I'm here. But now, that's kind of a big thing. Come on up, boys.
Okay.
We want to ask you a question.
So the question was, create a phrase or statement that describes this past year for you.
So come here.
What is a phrase?
Like a sentence.
A sentence, if you could use one sentence to describe this year.
What would you say?
Exciting.
Exciting. Boy, I love
it.
That
would be mine.
Yours too?
Exciting.
Amos says exciting.
Well, I'm glad.
But I don't know. I'd say my phrase would be what was I thinking? Change and difficulty builds character and growth or something like that. I feel like it was a lot of, transition, and it was but it kind of helped us recognize our priorities, like you were saying.
How are you still doing your podcast?
Well,
Always do this in the middle of the night.
You think we do this in the middle of the night?
You always do it. Podcast in the middle of the night. No, they don't. They do it around morning or sometimes at.
we do it at night a lot, yep. But then sometimes in the mornings, yes. I was gonna say, well, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our New Year recap episode. It's been so much fun making this podcast, and we'll be back. Probably get back on a schedule in a couple of weeks. Although we do have baby coming up, so we're now on baby watch, and that will, I'm absolutely certain, interrupt our podcast scheduling. So we'll, bear with us, and we'll put out episodes when we can. Are you ready to send us out with the
I
mom
am.
joke?
I just had to find this because I was sadly lacking in my planning of dad jokes, but mom jokes anyway.
Mom.
So did you hear about the pregnant bedbug?
I did not.
She's going to have her baby in the spring.
In the spring. Oh, I like that. That's good. Clever.
I thought a pregnancy one would be apt considering
I
baby
love
coming.
it. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.